Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at some extremely spicy battles in the Ultra League Premier Cup featuring Rock Throw CARRACOSTA. These battles were submitted to the channel by a member of the community, so many thanks for the battle submission. For the team, they lead Dragonite with a Lapras save switch, and they're able to go on a 9-1 run with the team. So without further ado, let's hop into the matches and check out Rock Throw CARRACOSTA in action in the Ultra League Premier Cup. Hopping into the first match, and we see a mirror lead Dragonite into Dragonite, immediate save switch into Lapras, opponent staying in this matchup, taking heavy damage to fire off this superpower. We see the immediate shield from the Lapras on the superpower, and then the opponent is going to respond with their own Lapras, and the opponent is going to be met with the incoming Skull Bash. Opponent does have a shield advantage, so they will commit the shield on the Skull Bash, so that way they can fire off their own. Skull Bash coming through, not really worth expending the final shield, so we do see a no shield here. Lapras will be able to reach Skull Bash number 2. Opponent has buffed up their defense, so this won't be doing as much damage as it typically would. Timer's up, in comes CARRACOSTA. CARRACOSTA will be able to tank double surfs here, no problem. We do see the no shield. Opponent goes for the resisted Skull Bash, and that is not the play. They send in Dragonite. Dragonite gets Rock Throw down, and now the opponent may be in trouble here. We'll have to see. Do they bring back in the Lapras? They do not. Their final Pokemon is Wing Attack Charizard, and Charizard is about to get absolutely deleted. The combo of Rock Throw plus Surf is going to be enough to get rid of the Charizard. Bring back in Lapras. Lapras farming up, goes for a Surf, and it's caught onto the Lapras. Oh my goodness. Opponent sees the writing on the wall and concedes the match. Nightmare lead in the next match, Dragonite into Walrein. Gonna need to immediately save switch out of this matchup. In comes Lapras, and Lapras is met with Ampharos. This is a terrible matchup for Lapras, but baiting out the Ampharos is quite nice, because that should hopefully free up CARRACOSTA to close in the endgame. The opponent has farmed up a ton of energy here. Decision time for the Lapras. Lets it through. It's a Thunder Punch. And they are at the back-to-back. This second Thunder Punch will be lethal. Lapras is just going to let it go, trusting that with Ampharos out of the way, CARRACOSTA with Rock Throw is going to be able to sweep. In comes Dragonite. Dragonite looking for the farm down, but not before Ampharos reaches another charge move. Dragonite is going to let this through. It's another Thunder Punch. Dragonite is able to get the farm down and leaves with the superpower loaded to threaten Walrein. Baiting with the Dragon Claw here. Opponent commits the shield. In comes CARRACOSTA into the Walrein. CARRACOSTA, these Rock Throws adding up, and the opponent concedes the match. Great lead in the next match, Dragonite into Shadow Swampert. Opponent will immediately save switch into Shadow Walrein, which will be countered with the Rock Throw CARRACOSTA. These Rock Throws absolutely shredding through the Walrein. This is enough for the Earthquake. CARRACOSTA shields, and they went straight for it. That is a massive shield. CARRACOSTA will be able to farm all the way down now, as Walrein is only able to reach an Icicle Spear. Icicle Spear is going to be resisted. CARRACOSTA tanks it like it's nothing, and now has a lot of energy to threaten the Shadow Swampert if that's what the opponent decides to bring back in. It is, and they're going to be met with the double loaded Surfs. First one is going to get the shield. CARRACOSTA firing off Surf number 2. Decision time for the opponent. They elect to let the Surf through, pivoting, saving the CARRACOSTA, predicting that the opponent is going to be weak to Rock in the back. Swampert has a lot of energy. We see a shield from the Dragonite, just a Hydro Cannon, and it's a Shadow Charizard in the back, and this Charizard will be absolutely erased if it gets aligned against the CARRACOSTA. Dragonite able to reach another Dragon Claw. This will be lethal unless they shield. Opponent is going to commit the shield and fire off a Dragon Claw. This Dragon Claw is going to be getting rid of the Dragonite, but now you can send back in the CARRACOSTA. CARRACOSTA will absolutely eviscerate the Charizard. In comes Swampert into the Lapras, and we see a third consecutive top left. Same leads in the next match, Dragonite into Swampert. Opponent is going to save switch into Walrein, and again, it is going to be met with CARRACOSTA. The Swampert Walrein core is a very common one in the Ultra League Premier Cup, and CARRACOSTA is absolutely feasting on these walruses. This is the non-Shadow Walrein, meaning that CARRACOSTA is going to have to fire off a Body Slam instead of being able to farm down. Body Slam is going to get a shield, as Walrein is going to try and take switch advantage, but CARRACOSTA is not about to let that happen. CARRACOSTA gets the farm down. Back in comes Swampert. Swampert is going to be met with a Surf. Surf will do some solid neutral chip damage onto the Swampert. We do see a no shield and a pivot into Lapras, and in the back it's Charizard. It's the exact same team, and CARRACOSTA is just absolutely feasting on these backlines. Surf is able to land. Charizard continues to farm up. No shields remaining, so Lapras just has to tank the Blast Burn. Blast Burn will do some significant damage. Lapras able to reach a second Surf. This Surf fired off onto the Charizard. It's gonna KO. Back in comes the Swampert. Swampert forced to fire off a move to get rid of this Lapras. Swampert goes for the Hydro Cannon. It's not enough to KO. Lapras able to hang on and reach the Surf. Surf is going to get the shield. In comes Dragonite, and we see a fourth consecutive top left. Moving into the next match, Dragonite is absolutely loving what it sees as it leads into yet another Swampert. We see a save switch by the opponent, this time into a Shadow Kanto Muck, and this is a bit of a tricky Pokemon. We are going to see Dragon Claw fired off, grabs a shield from the Muck, and now in comes Lapras. Lapras will be hit for super effective damage with Thunder Punch, but Thunder Punch isn't the strongest move and doesn't get same type attack bonus, so Lapras is able to tank it and return fire with a Surf. This Surf will do some pretty nice neutral damage. And now, the Lapras may be looking to try and commit to a farm down. We do see a shield from the Lapras here on the Thunder Punch. Lapras going for the farm down and gets it. That is quite nice. Back in comes Swampert, but this Shadow Swampert is going to be met with loaded energy from Lapras, and this Lapras is not in Hydro Cannon range, so they're going to have to farm all the way up to an Earthquake if they want to get rid of the Lapras. Lapras firing off a second Surf into the Swampert. Swampert is going to let that through and fire off the last second move. Lapras perfectly fine with letting this go. It's a Hydro Cannon. In comes Dragonite. It's a Wall Rain in the back. And we see the fifth top left in a set. Moving into the next set, we see Dragonite into Shadow Charizard. Two better responses in the back, so gonna save switch into Lapras, because ideally, of course, you would love to have that CARRACOSTA aligned onto the Charizard at some point. Zard is staying in this matchup, so Lapras fires off a Surf to apply some early shield pressure. Opponent does throw on some unfortunate timing there, and Lapras is able to take advantage, committing the shield and being able to outpace due to the Ice Shard Sneak, and reach Surf number 2. Opponent is going to commit the second shield as well, so they do not have a clean response to a Lapras in the back whatsoever. Decision time for the Lapras. Lapras shields at the last second, and it's the Blast Burn. Opponent is going to send in Wall Rain. Wall Rain with energy is definitely scary for this team. Lapras is going to fire off the Skull Bash. Skull Bash is able to connect, and will of course buff up Lapras' defense. Wall Rain will fire off an Earthquake. This is not going to be lethal. Lapras able to tank it. Lapras continuing to farm, trying to get to the Skull Bash. We see Wall Rain fire off a charge move here. Wall Rain goes for the Icicle Spear. That is not enough to KO. And Lapras will reach Skull Bash number 2. This will come very close to KOing. Skull Bash gets him low. Wall Rain able to hang on 1 HP and reach a last second Icicle Spear. That is going to KO the Lapras. Dragonite gets the farm down. Opponent sends in Charizard. In the back, they have Shadow Swampert. This is a bit unfortunate for CARRACOSTA, but CARRACOSTA can do some solid chip damage with the Surf. Surf able to land on the Shadow Swampert. Swampert is going to fire off a charge move here. Swampert goes for the Hydro Cannon. That does get CARRACOSTA low. CARRACOSTA trying to reach another move. Swampert does not want to let that happen. Swampert fires off a charge move. Swampert may have been able to commit to a farm down, and because they didn't, it looks like Dragonite is going to be able to clutch this game. Hydro Cannon does not do enough damage, able to farm down. In comes the Charizard. Charizard has a Dragon Claw. Is this going to be enough to KO? It barely is not, and that is a good game. Great lead in the next match, Dragonite into another Swampert. Opponent is going to save switch into Gyarados, and Gyarados will be met with the Rock Throw CARRACOSTA. These Rock Throws absolutely tearing through the Gyarados. Gyarados fires off a Crunch. Crunch lands, and the opponent does get the defense drop. That is a little unfortunate. CARRACOSTA firing off the Body Slam, trying to grab a shield from the opponent. Body Slam gets the shield. CARRACOSTA gets the farm down, and that is a good game. Moving into the next match, leading into, you guessed it, another Swampert. This one is Shadow. Opponent save switches into Wall Rain. Oh no, tell me this isn't the team with the Charizard in the back again. A lot of trainers are running that same team. This trainer is absolutely feasting on people who do. Opponent goes for the Icicle Spear bait. CARRACOSTA is going to farm up and then win CMP. This way, if the opponent wants to force the second shield, which they do, they're going to have to give up a shield themselves. CARRACOSTA perfectly fine with double shield in here, as keeping switch advantage will prove to be extremely important. CARRACOSTA gets the farm down, and now in comes Shadow Swampert. CARRACOSTA will fire off the Surf before Swampert is able to reach a move. That Surf is going to do some pretty significant damage, and we see a pivot into Lapras. Lapras, unfortunately, is going to be met with the Earthquake, and that does massive damage, and it's the same team. It's always the same team. People running the exact same team, and they are being absolutely destroyed by CARRACOSTA for it. Charizard will fire off a charge move as Lapras reaches the Surf. They go for the Blast Burn. That KOs. Y'all want to watch a Charizard disappear? And now it's time to bring back in CARRACOSTA. Look at the rock throws there. Charizard firing off a Dragon Claw. That's not going to KO. CARRACOSTA tanks it like a champ, farms down, and leaves with the Surf loaded. Hello, Swampert. Goodbye, Swampert. And that is a good game. Picking up a slightly positive lead in the next match, Dragonite into Kanto Muck. Dragonite honestly won't do too bad in this matchup, so if you want to stay in it, you definitely can. Dragonite is going to strike first with the Dragon Claw. Kanto Muck is going to let that through, as it tanks that damage pretty nicely, and then we do see a save switch into Lapras. Lapras not going to appreciate the Thunder Punches here, but will be able to tank too. Lapras overfarms, and we see Muck firing off a second Thunder Punch. That's going to get no shielded as well. Lapras is now going to return fire with the Surf. This Surf will be getting the Muck quite low. Muck does commit the shield. Lapras farming up, goes for the Surf, but loses CMP. And now we see a shield from the Lapras, wanting to try and control switch advantage in this game. Firing off the Surf, decision time for the Muck. Do they want to double shield? Yes, they do. They are fighting hard for switch advantage. Muck is going to fire off a charge move. If you're the Lapras, do you commit the shield here? Actually going to let it go, bring in the Dragonite, and get energy on Dragonite, because even if they have something like Wall Rain, you can hit it for super effective, and they have Trevenant in the back. Oh no, I think this may be where the win streak ends, because this is going to hit for double super effective damage. Oh, that is absolutely brutal. Trevenant is going to fire off a charge move. At this point, they're just going for Seed Bombs because Dragonite just does not have enough HP left. Dragonite is able to double up on moves, but unfortunately, this will not be enough damage to KO the Gyarados. In comes the Gyarados. Gyarados will be hit with the Dragon Claw, but it's just far too healthy. Dragon Claw, not enough to KO. And that's game over. Hopping into the final match, leading Dragonite into another Swampert. Please tell me it's not the same team again. Opponent save switches into a Shadow Walrein, and we've seen this story before. Shadow Walrein is going to fire off a move, immediate shield from the CARRACOSTA. Opponent full sends the Earthquake, so now CARRACOSTA is going to be able to fully farm down. CARRACOSTA leaves with a massive amount of energy. Opponent is going to be forced to bring back in the Swampert, and Swampert is not going to appreciate this energy. CARRACOSTA fires off the Surf. Swampert tanks it, but already Surf number 2 is being fired. Decision time for the opponent. Swampert is going to let that through. Swampert will fire off a charge move. Do you shield if you're the CARRACOSTA, wanting to try and preserve it for the inevitable Charizard in the back? Farms up, and a beautiful catch onto Lapras, saving the CARRACOSTA. That's just a Hydro Cannon, and it is the same team. Everyone running the same team, and they are getting absolutely smacked by CARRACOSTA. Charizard will commit the shield. Charizard will be going straight for the Blast Burn here. Blast Burn will hit for heavy neutral damage, but it's not enough to KO. Charizard is going to have to burn the final shield here on the Surf, because Surf would hit for massive super effective damage. Charizard gets the farm down, and now gonna send in Dragonite to soak this energy, and then CARRACOSTA can finish off this game. Dragon Claw lands, in comes CARRACOSTA to catch the Dragon Claw. Let's go. CARRACOSTA shakes that off like it's nothing. In comes the Swampert, and Swampert will be met with the loaded Surf. This will take care of the Swampert, and this should be game over here. I think the opponent may have disconnected the app here, as now their Charizard is going to get absolutely farmed down by CARRACOSTA, and that is a good game. All in all, some truly incredible battles featuring Rock Throw CARRACOSTA, showing that you can have success even when running an off-meta pick like CARRACOSTA. And also big props to this trainer for recognizing that there was a very common meta team, building a team to absolutely crush it, and then skyrocketing in elo. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you as always to our members here on YouTube. The support you guys provide is absolutely incredible. So thank you guys oh so very much. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.